Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for The Bridge Season 2, Episode 3, Sorrowssworn. And this was really good episode. I really enjoyed it. Probably the best episode of the season. And one of the things I really liked about this episode was we actually got reintroduced to characters from Season 1 that we haven't seen since then. Now, I, of course, never saw Season 1, so I didn't know these characters. However, for what I read, apparently these were characters from Season 1. So I really enjoyed seeing that, and I thought this episode was definitely very well done, and shit is definitely about to go down on this show. Shit is about to go down. So, let's just get to it. So basically, we see Eleanor going shopping, and of course, she is intimidating the salesperson and stabbing her own chest with a needle in the fitting room, and of course, she's trying to trick somebody else, because that's what she does. She's still tricking people, make it seem like she's hurt or whatever. And she's acting like it's a ritualistic thing, especially since she had killed the teenage boy Kyle the night before. So, yeah. So then we see Sonya and Jack having sex. And Sonya admits that the sex wasn't as good as last time. She liked it more the last time they did it. And Jack seems now unnerved by Sonya's bluntness. And the connection between the two is growing a little bit stronger. But the thing is, but we know that Jack is possibly hiding something big from Sonya because Hank and Jack had that conversation in the last episode. So it's kind of, actually, worrisome to see them have sex because you know that Jack is hiding something from Sonya. I don't know what it is yet, but there's something he's hiding from her. So Sonya gets a lead on Eleanor from Kyle's best friend, the one kid who had common sense and ran away from her at the end of this season's premiere. The kid that the kid that got away. Now I really like this scene. Sonya and Marco decide to interview him, and they learn that Kyle's missing. They interview Kyle, and basically, he says how he ran away because he didn't, he did the right thing, and Kyle stayed because, she was naked. That's why he stayed. And they interview Kyle's parents, and Marco talks to Kyle's little brother, who tells him that someone took his metamorphosis card. So, we don't know who took the metamorphosis card, and that's really weird. So then we see Eleanor, she's still shopping, and we see her load a new barrel into her car. Now, we wonder what that is for. She then heads to a street corner where a bunch of undocumented workers are waiting for work, and she chooses one of the least popular guys to work for her. The head she is about to, she's up to her old tricks. So the head DEA agent is sitting down with Sonya to discuss the missing kid and Eleanor, and Sonya tells him that she believes the boy is still with her, and the DEA agent immediately asks if they think it's a sex thing, because Sonya, a lot of times is picked on because she's a woman, statistically more sexually, because women, with tattoos are more sexually adventurous. Which, is not necessarily true, but, this guy's really obnoxious and everything, so he ignores what he said, and he asks how the woman fits into the cartel investigation, insisting that Eleanor isn't a girlfriend. The agent, lets up and admits that there has been talk of a shunned, Menotti working on a Galvin operation, and Marco asks what makes her so special to be an active female in Galvin's operation. Now, the agent refuses to say, especially not in Marco's presence, since he's with the Mexican police. So, yeah. So, the detective leaves the room, but Hank decides to chat up the agent. Hank's talking, gives the agent then, by Hank talking to him, he's talking to him and everything, and, the agent gives up Eleanor's name, that she's one of Galvin's money people, and he says, we grab her and we have a legitimate shot at bringing down Fatso Galvin, and the agent insists that Hank keeps an eye on his people and keep the big picture in mind. So, yeah, then basically we see, okay, what do we see after that? Then we basically see Sonya and Co. Find Eleanor's unit and Kyle's clothes with a metamorphosis card his brother had told Marco he was missing. You know, they were looking for that. Now, all the while, Eleanor and the guy, that's working for her, are wheeling the barrel into the shed. She gets a phone call and tells the person on the phone that there's one more thing she needs to take care of before she goes to Juarez. So, basically, what ends up happening next is, during a rather rare and very personal moment between these two, Sonya asks Marco if he ever thinks about Tate, the man who murdered his son, Gus, and why he thinks he did it. And I really like this scene because I felt really bad for Marco in the scene, but I really like the scene at the same time. Now, Marco goes on about how he still feels his son's presence from time to time, and it's all he has left. And Sonya says that never happened to her, and she kind of seems sad about it, which is no surprise, since she misses her sister so much. So, I thought that was definitely very interesting and very sad. I definitely thought that was very sad. So then, Eleanor's last errand is to actually visit Kyle's friend to eliminate him as a witness, because she doesn't want any witnesses, basically. And the boy is frightened, and as she talks to him, she realizes that unlike Kyle, this boy is much more innocent. He's not sexual, he's not dumb, and he refuses to actually touch her when she asks him. She can see the light in him and tells him that Kyle's with the butterflies, and with that she spares him. So, she actually doesn't kill him, believe it or not. And you know that the big thing is that she didn't kill him. So, basically the boy talks to the police and tells him what happened, and where he said Kyle was, and where she said Kyle was, the butterfly comment spikes Sonya's interest. So, that was definitely very interesting. So then, at the very end of the episode, Sonya follows the boys' lead to a butterfly farm, because, Eleanor had said something about butterflies, and, that was really weird about butterflies. And basically, they get a clue to this butterfly farm. They find Kyle's remains in the barrel, where Eleanor had placed there. Eleanor watches the police scene from afar, with an intrigued yet stratified look on her face, and, basically, shit's about to go down, because now they know about her, they know that they know what she's doing, and, the biggest question is, what is this deal with this woman? I'm really loving the villain this season. I think she's doing, the girl that's blazing her, you're doing an amazing job. I really like that, definitely. And, I just thought that was definitely very well done. So, yeah. I really enjoyed, I really enjoyed that storyline. I thought that storyline was very, well done. I love the main plot in this episode. Now, let's go to, Daniel and Adriana. So, we'll go to Daniel and Adriana right now. Basically, Daniel and Adriana, they found that dead body in the closet last week, and they go to tell Raul, the news about his friend. Raul was that guy at the drag queen, he was one of the drag queens, and Raul divulges more information about his friend, saying that he had something to do with the money and was working with a woman who sounds a lot like Eleanor. Now, Raul doesn't think it was the cartel who killed him, but says that whoever it is, they'll be following Daniel and Adriana. So, basically, what ends up happening, next is, that after Raul's warning, Daniel and Adriana stay on the case. They camp outside of a bank, but they realize that Raul's friend's job was to deposit large chunks of money into several accounts of that specific bank. The same one that Eleanor had visited a couple episodes ago. So, yes, that was definitely very interesting. And, the very end, we get something really surprising. An assassin enter Raul's apartment. Raul looks like he knew it was coming, which is, interesting. He asked the man not to kill him. He's like, please do not kill me with a gun. He still wants to be beautiful when he dies. The assassin allows him this last request, stabs him quick and straight in the heart, and a weird thing happens as Raul dies, uttering Jesus. Now, the assassin looks astounded as he sees that Raul has a cross in his hand, and he looks to the crucifix on the mantle, and there's something going on. Maybe he had some religious epiphany. I don't know how to explain that, really, but I thought that plot was interesting. I enjoyed that for the most part, but I really don't know how to explain that, because it's just like, okay, that was a little weird, but yeah, so then the other thing that happened was they brought back a major plot line from last year, I guess. I guess there were, a couple major plot lines from Season 1 that they didn't bring back till now, and let's just get to it. So, basically, Charlotte is still working with Galvin through Monty and having her boyfriend Ray and her ranch head Cesar transport drugs across the border. So Ray and Cesar are transporting when they get hijacked and lose the drugs to a gang of teenagers. And the kids decide not to come, believing that Galvin will do them in for losing the load. And basically, what ends up happening next? We see, so yeah, that was definitely, very interesting. Then we see Steve Linder, and we see him cruise through the desert, and unsurprisingly, Linder is headed to Bob's shelter to see Eva, and once there, Bob tells him that he found a man stalking the ranch, and has him captured in the barn. Bob tries questioning him, the man, who is a Mexican police officer, doesn't break, and Linder first takes a merciful approach, simply asking the man for his story. But it doesn't work, unfortunately. So, Ray and Cesar do finally get home. Cesar tells Ray that running away will only piss Galvin off. And, of course, Ray doesn't listen and tells Charlotte they are moving to Alaska because Mexicans don't like the cold. And Charlotte's trying to get a hold of Monty and thinks they should stay. But Ray is bent on hitting the road and letting their lawyer do the talking. And that was basically, so yeah, that was, and then back at Bob's shelter, Linder reunites with Eva, and he asks her to tell him what happened to her back in Mexico to remind her she's not alone in the darkness. And the next thing you know, he's leading a violent charge at the man tied up in the barn. So, yeah, that was pretty much, the episode, and overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a very good episode. I thought there was a little too much going on this episode. Some of the plots just randomly came back. But what do you think is going to happen with now that Eleanor, saw Sonya and Marco? She is definitely on them. She has something up her sleeve. I have a feeling she's going to go after them now because she knows that they are under her radar. She knows that they're after her. And obviously, she's going to do something next week. Definitely, that's going to be very interesting. I'm very interested in seeing what she's going to do next. It's going to be really cool to see what she ends up doing. The other thing I'm wondering is basically, what was I going to say? Okay. The other interesting thing, of course, with Daniel and Adriana, what happened with Raul? Why does Raul have that religious thing? Why did, that guy seemed, shocked? Did he have some sort of weird religious epiphany? I don't really know how to explain that, really. Ray and Cesar, I really don't know how to explain this. Are they gonna, we're gonna see what happens with them, they're gonna let their lawyer do the talking, basically. And, that's definitely gonna be interesting. That's definitely gonna be interesting. Now, Daniel and Adriana, do you think there's something bad's gonna happen to them? I feel like Eleanor's gonna be onto them, too, because it's all building up, really. All these plots, they're all building up to Eleanor, pretty much. Even though Daniel and Adriana, they're after large sums of money, they're in the same place that Eleanor was, so, shit's about to go down, definitely, for them as well. And also, I still am trying to figure out what is Hank and what's his name? Hank and Jack hiding from Sonya. I still don't know what they're hiding from Sonya. We're gonna have to figure out what exactly they're hiding from Sonya. And, yeah, definitely, I will say that. Now, I will say one other thing about, this season that I'm really liking. Elanor, she is really scary after this episode. She's a very effective villain, and, she's just very creepy, and I think she's a very good villain. Really menacing and evil, And her character is just so creepy, and I think that's awesome about her character. And I'm really enjoying, her playing the villain on the show. I think she's fantastic, and I really hope that, she stays the villain for the whole season, because she's really awesome to watch. And this show just keeps getting better and better. It's so good. Even though I didn't really care for the other, 2 plots, I didn't really care so much about them. I cared about the Sonya and Marco stuff, and I cared about the Adriana and Daniel and Raul plot. I cared about that. And I sort of cared about the Eva, Bob plot, things like that. But that's basically it for my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Wilfred. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.